All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live free New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody's doing well today on this beautiful on this beautiful Tuesday. As always, let's turn off all distractions and grab pen and paper. Let's take lots of notes and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. As always, we want to make sure that we're starting our day off by taking massive action. And that action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, setting yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trust in your education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right. So, um, let's get down to business. If everybody can hear me okay, drop me one in the chat and we will get rocking. Beautiful. All right. Cool. So, um, let's let's slide over to trading economics really quickly here. Ba, 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 ba. All right. So UK wage growth remains strong even as unemployment rises. Right. We had unemployment data that came out early this morning. Regular pay in the UK, which excludes bonus payments, went up at a strong 6% year over year in 3 months to April, the same as in the previous two periods and in line with forecast. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate unexpectedly rose to 4.4%, the highest since September 2021. And the number of vacancies was still falling, and a sign that the labor market may be cooling in the UK. All right. Um, so that'll be interesting, right? Some mixed data, we'll call it, right? Because we got rising pay, but also rising unemployment rate. So something that we'll definitely keep our eyes on to see um, over time what happens with the pound, right? Does the data align in one direction or the other? Does it start to actually cool? What happens there? So we'll keep our eyes there. Japan machine orders rebound. Um, mm, 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 mm. Bitcoin extends fall in a broad crypto weakness under pressure from a rebound in the dollar and treasury yields. And then you have Australian business mood deteriorate. So a little bit all over the place there, but the UK wage growth was a big data this morning. Over to the calendar. Mm. Over to the calendar. Right. So not a ton that happened yesterday. There's your data from this morning, right? That unemployment rate, unemployment change, right, came in well above expectation. Um, 40,000 new claims. So definitely something to keep our eyes on as we move forward to see if there's any adjustments to that number, um, or if that unemployment number continues to climb. So we'll watch that there. Later on today, we got 10-year bond auction. Tonight, we have PPI for the yen. Um, as we get closer to that rate statement later this week, the conversation is still about the bond purchases. What will happen? Will the Bank of Japan slow their purchases in preparation for a change in their rate again? So we'll keep our eyes on that PPI number this evening. Tomorrow, we got GDP for the pound. We got core CPI for the United States, crude oil inventories, FOMC meeting on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, right? So we could see um, kind of things be relatively flat for the today and beginning of tomorrow. So we'll watch and see. But definitely going to be an interesting day tomorrow. Governor Macklem out of Canada speaks, and we have unemployment rate and employment change for the Aussie tomorrow night. Thursday, core PPI for the dollar, unemployment claims for the dollar. Then we have rate statement out of Japan on Thursday. All right, so that's going to be another big number Thursday night, along with the press conference early Friday morning, and then consumer sentiment on Friday for the dollar. All right, so Wednesday, Thursday are going to be the big days to give us insight on where the market could be headed. All right, so we'll watch and see how things go from there. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. How about yourself?
Oh man, doing great. Glad to be here as always.
Yes, sir. Anything stand out to you fundamentally? I know you dropped some stuff in the community yesterday.
Yeah, I did. Just really just kind of watching because it's crazy how, everything is patterns, right? Just like we kind of find it on the charts. It's same thing happened in Canada too, right? Where you've got accelerated wage growth, but unemployment number creeps up, and
Yeah.
so we've got that going on. In some other places we see that with the UK. With the article that you saw today on trading economics that you were talking about. So, uh, not, I don't quite have it all together yet on exactly what that means, right? Trying to tie it all together across the board.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm gonna find it out. I'm gonna find out though, because that seems to be, like I said, it seems to be a pattern. So just continue to watch throughout the rest of the week as these reports continue to come out to see, you know, where else this is occurring. So other than that, that's it. Just something that I picked up on.
Yes, sir. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how things move for sure. Um, and see if that pattern continues as well. Appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
Team, do you guys have any questions or anything fundamentally that you guys came across that you want to bring to the table? Nope, nope, nope. All right. Um, before I dive into the charts, um, JCK, Tyrone, Benit, Jeremy's not on. Either of you wanna chime in on um your the accountability meetups and how the conversations have been going and some of the things you guys are working on. So you guys had some posts in the community yesterday as well. No?
Hey, yeah, I can talk about the spreadsheet that I finished yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of a companion to the mindset Monday that we did about the Keystone habits. Was it last week or was it this week?
Uh, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, two
Well,
weeks
yeah,
ago.
last week. I'm
Oh,
sorry, last week.
okay.
Yeah, last week.
Um, so it's a habit tracking spreadsheet that um it's 100 days. It's I don't know what to say about it. It just came about from the Mindset Monday, and I maybe just thought that that would be something that would be helpful. Initially, I did it for my own self, but if anybody is open to wanting to use it, it's available. I know some people may want to track like pen and paper way. That's
Hmm.
fine too, but I thought that it would be a cool, fun way to have an electronic way to track things. Um,
Yeah.
and so it has automated like tree that grows in stages based on how much is done, like tracks your progress. It
Oh,
has space
wow.
for you to put in your why, your benefits of completion, a detailed plan. Um, I think that's about it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you can share that broadly, that'd be awesome. Um, I definitely love to check it out and use it. And if anybody else
Okay.
wants to use it as well, that's
Okay.
awesome.
Yep, I'll post it in the
Yeah,
community.
drop some sevens
Oh, thanks,
for
y'all.
JC and this habit tracker. It sounds dope. It's interactive and everything, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. If anybody needs help on data skills, Excel skills, that's not all JC does, but that's one thing that I know personally, like her skills are on another level. So if anybody needs help in that area, definitely tap in with JC. All right.
So real
Thanks,
quick,
Frank.
along that lines, that habit, JC is so awesome. I've never used a habit tracker like that. Like I would start and then I wouldn't finish it. And that habit tracker, and I'm really excited to start on the Keystone Habits too. That habit tracker is on par with apps that are out there. And in combination with the accountability group, I know for me, that's seeing it that way, the way JC has set it up, has helped me so much this past, like this is the second month that I've used it. And I would encourage anybody, number one, the habit tracker is awesome and amazing, and using it in conjunction with the accountability group has helped me grow, even if it's incrementally in ways that I would not have had if I had not had either of these tools and working them together. So I just want to say JC has worked so hard. Her heart is so big, and I appreciate the work that she's put in and that everybody puts in the accountability group to help keep us accountable and to help us to grow. So thank you.
Let's go. Let's go. Kudos, JC. We greatly appreciate you and the work you're putting in. We greatly do. I love it. I love it. Uh, any other feedback from the accountability group before we dive in? No? No? All right, cool deal. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right. So let's take a look. We'll come back to this NZD dollar index. Right. We know last week, this is on the 4 hour, right? We got the push. We got the push to the upside. We broke back above previous daily resistance, right? Was there and there. And you see we pulled back, retested that level and pushing back to the upside. So it'll be interesting to see how the dollar moves with tomorrow. My screen is blurry. I'm not sure. Anybody else have an issue with a blurry screen? No,
No, it looks
that
good
might
on
be
my end.
okay. Might be your internet connection. A little laggy. But we got trend line breaks to the upside, right? Strong bullish action. We'll see if we take back some of that, but we broke above the daily level, right? It's holding as support currently. We will watch to see what happens here. But right now we're pushing back to the upside on the DXY. So dollar strength, as the article talked about with Bitcoin. So we'll continue to monitor. We got that rate statement coming tomorrow. All right. Um, just a quick peek at the dollar yen. We'll come back to the daily time frame, right? We're still in this range. I'll take this out actually. We'll take that out. Boom. Okay. So uh there we are on the dollar yen, right? Still ranging sideways. We're staying below 157,389. Actually shift that up. 157,742 is that daily resistance level. So with the dollar data tomorrow, or the rate statement, we'll see what happens, and then we'll see what happens with the yen the following day. But we could, depending on the Fed stance, right? If it's more of a hawkish stance, we could see that level get broken, right, and continue driving north. So we're data dependent as well, right? Watching to see what happens and see where we go, right? Do we stall at 160 and turn over, give us a double top, or do we continue driving north and ultimately make it to that D extension at 165, right? So we're waiting to see what happens there on the DXY. I mean, on the dollar yen coming down to the 4. There's that 118, 127 zone that we're sitting in as well, right? Same thing. So just sitting tight here, waiting to see where the Fed takes us. Okay. Come down to the 1. Right. Tons of see if that pops in. Nope. There we are on the 1 hour, right? So tons of back and forth happening there. Fib's getting taken out in both ways. So not much happening on the 1 hour, right? For me, I'm waiting on an indication on the 4, but right, sub fibs, smaller waves, right? We do have an 80-20 scenario here. We didn't quite push into the 118, 127 zone. So let's sit and wait and see if we get a push there and see what happens at 157, 742. All right. If we break that level, that D extension is likely to get tagged. So we'll sit tight and we'll wait on the data here. All right. Questions on the dollar yen? No, no questions. All right, cool deal. Dollar Swiss. Right, we know coming out of the weekend we had this 80-20 on the 1 hour time frame. Right, we got the push on Friday, started moving sideways, and we're still moving sideways. All right. Just to zoom in on this a little bit, we haven't gotten a pullback at all off of that impulsive move to the upside. So let's watch and see. Right, but there's your sub fib just ranging in that B boundary. So do we get a pullback into our sweet spot and then continuation to the upside? Or do we just continue driving north, right? You see, we got a nice cloud break here and we're just ranging, right? So it's a question of do we get a pullback in the continuation or do we just continue moving to the upside, right? So that's the setup that we're watching on the dollar Swiss on the 1 hour. Okay. Let's bounce back to the 4 real quick. And there we are on the 4, right? So a bit of alignment here. We got a 50% retracement, right? And we got the 80-20 on the 1 for the turnover. So looking for overall for this to continue moving to the upside, right? Coming out of, didn't quite get to our 618 level, but looking for a turnover, price to continue moving to the upside to make it to the matching D extension there at 93,131. All right. So there we are on the dollar Swiss. Beautiful 80-20 to a deep retracement. And now looking for that ABCD wave to play out. Questions on the dollar Swissy? No? All right.
Nope.
Cool deal. Let's peek at the dollar CAD. And you see we're pushing north on the 4. All right. Way back then, we had a 618 retracement, and we just been range bound, top of the range. We pulled back. Now we're pushing back to the top of the range here on the sub fib, right? And that's where that 4 hour fib comes into play. So we're looking to see overall that daily fib. If we do get right more bullishness coming out of the dollar, break above these resistance levels here, 138, 54, 138.99, and continue driving north. So on the 4, we got that 50% retracement. you see the cloud break, you see the retest of the cloud, and you see the continued push to the upside. So we'll watch and see what happens here if we're able to break out and continue moving to the upside there. Okay. Down on the 1. Obviously, with the range, fibs going back and forth, but there we are on the 1 hour. We do have an 80-20, so we'll see, right? We'll see this on a lot of those dollar pairs after that impulsive move, right? Do we get a pullback and then a continuation? Excellent, like that. All right, so we're still range bound there. Okay, still range bound. Questions on the dollar CAD? Well, we'll see overall. Because we're waiting on this rate statement, overall the market is pretty slow motion to get the week started. All right. No questions? Cool deal. What else I got here? Let's take a look at the Euro Swiss. Daily time frame, right? We broke this previous weekly support level, still headed down, right? We're coming into an 8-6 retracement level here, all right? And it's on a daily time frame. So that level did not hold. Okay. So now we look to see, do we settle in? We got a stochastic in the buy zone. Are we able to settle in the 786, 86 range to give us a push back to the upside? Okay. So let's watch and see how things move here. Coming down to the 4, you see we pushed down, back down into the 118, 127 zone. We had a gap down, right? From the weekend, pushed into the 118, 127 zone, started to push up, came back down. So let's see if we get a double bottom type action here. And this holds our support and gives us a push to the upside, right? And then if we're able to break back above this previous support level and continue moving north there, right? Ben has been talking about the euro strength even with the rate cut, right? So we'll look to see if that starts to come into play here and we get these moves on the euros to turn over and start pushing back to the upside. Okay, so we're sitting in the zone. Beautiful, right? Now it's just waiting on our confirmations to get that move to the upside. Okay, so this is on the 4. Like that. All right. So there we go. That's the setup to the 382 on the 4 hour, dropping down to the 1, right? We also have price push down to the 118, 127 zone. Okay. So again, let's see if we get some double bottom action here and get that push to the upside. So we'll watch and see. Just drop the cloud on. There we are on the cloud as well. All right. So getting closer to the cloud, we'll see if we get a cloud break and start to form a low on that daily time frame to give us some of that additional confirmation there. All right. That is the Euro Swiss 80-20. Questions?
No questions.
No, no. All right, cool deal. And Tracy, good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you on the live session this morning. Let's see. Our favorite pair, the Euro GBP. So we got a gap down, right? Broke below support, headed south, right? You're welcome. We got stochastic coming out of the sell zone, right? About halfway through. We'll see if we get down into the buy zone by the time we get to this 84,072. All right, so that's our next support level there. So price is pressing down, right, in favor of that pound. We had that the mixed data, but strong payroll data, right? Wage level. So pound has a bit of strength right now. So let's see if we get to the support level and are able to settle in there. We come down to the 4, right? And you see we're pushing through the 118, 127 zone right now, right? And that daily support comes in just above the D extension. Okay, so we'll see if this support level is able to hold, give us some support, and then see if we can get at least a high price to retest support levels and then get back short. All right, so we're looking for this action here. Okay. So pressing down in a strong way right now. So I'm sitting and waiting. I'm going to wait on the support level, right? Generally for me, my rules are to take take the trade out of the zone. Um, Caveat when you have fundamentals that are giving strength to a currency, right? So we got fundamentals giving strength to the pound, and we see the strong move to the downside. So I'm going to wait for the support level to come in here and then see if we get a bounce. Come down to the 1, right? Similar story. Similar story. So headed to the downside, we'll see what happens there. All right. So we'll look to play the 80-20 like this. I'm gonna stop just outside the D extension. Boom. That's the Euro GBP. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it moves in this if it moves this way. Questions on the Euro pound?
Nope.
All right, cool deal. Euro dollar, right? Um, Moves to the downside, obviously with the dollar strength, right? And we're actually still pressing down, but do we get a retracement before we get the continuation? And that's the question that I have in mind here, right? On the 4-hour, strong push out of that 786 retracement zone, right? And I had this level marked a while ago, looking to see if price came back to it, and we did. We tapped it and we pressed down. So now are we able to get just a pullback for a continuation? We'll see, right? That will call for some interesting data and interesting conversation tomorrow. But are we able to get that type of action to continue moving to the downside? All right. Down to the 1. This is where it could get interesting, right? So what happens? Do we take out the A before we get a retracement, if we get one, right? Or do we just continue moving to the downside? Okay. So I'm interested in this one as we're sitting at that 118 level. No, great work, okay? Okay, took it on the 4. Beautiful. Beautiful. Um, do we take out this A boundary before we make the move back to the upside? So this one would be interesting to see how it moves. Okay. Interesting to see how it moves here. Again, this is just me selfishly, right? I would like to see that A get taken out. It gives us that directional change on the 1, but then I would like to see price come back up and give another high price, right? And that's for me to be able to add to the trade on the move down like that, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. But we got an 80-20 on a sub fib on the 1, but we'll ultimately need fundamentals to align for that to occur. So we'll watch and see what happens there on the euro dollar. Any questions here? Dollar CAD 80-20 on the 1. Let me go back and look at that. Done it. No questions. All right, cool deal. Dollar CAD. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Yep, I did. Pound Aussie. So, right, this one over the long term, we talked about this inverted crown pattern, right? We got that right tip to form. We're pressing to the upside. We'll see if we're able to complete that. We got some resistance levels coming in that could give us a little bit of static there, right? So watching to see if we're able to continue pressing north. Okay. Down on the 4, right? Not a ton of price action, but what we did have here, or price action that fits rules. But what we did have here is that break and retest, right? We had that level of resistance there. We broke that level, came back past resistance, becoming future support. Um, Past resistance becoming future support. We'll see if that continues to hold and see if we're able to continue to drive to the upside here. Okay. And that is as we come down to the 1 hour. Boom. Right. 50% retracement. See if we can get to that matching D extension there at 93,885. Okay. So that's the pound Aussie. Past resistance, future support, stayed above the cloud. Let's see if we get that continuation to the D extension. Questions on this one?
Nope.
No questions. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right, sorry about that. Let's hop over to these New Zealand. Um, yeah, New Zealand yen. Daily, we got price lingering in the B boundary zone, right? Past resistance becoming future support. It's still holding, right? But we're still range bound. We're still holding, right? So we'll watch this and see how it develops. We come down to the 4, right? And 786 retracement. We're just shy of the D extension here at 96,860. So what I would love to see is this 4 hour to be achieved before we get any other type of action. So we'd love to see another push to the upside here, get to that D extension, give us a fresh AB boundary, and then if we're going to turn over, then give us that opportunity to get short like that. Okay, so that selfishly, I'd like to see that. Down on the 1 though, right? We got our 80-20 scenario. Maybe. There we go. Right, so we're just lingering in that 118 to 127 zone. So that push to the 4 hour D extension would just give us a new high there, right? But you see price is just moving across the middle of the screen. All right, so we need some additional confirmation there, be it fundamentals or strong trend line breaks, which ultimately will come back to the fundamental side of it. If price is going to come down to the downside. So sitting tight here, watching this one develop to see if we get some fun news out of Japan to give us the catalyst for this one to start breaking down. All right. So that is the New Zealand yen questions.
Nope, I think we're good.
No questions? All right, cool deal. One more second, everybody. I apologize. All right, all right. So that's the NZD JPY, NZD CAD. Talked about that retracement coming out of the weekend, right? AB boundary, we're getting the pullback here. So are we able to get a high price? I'll walk backwards on this one, but are we able to get a high price to then potentially get back short and this continuation down? We're sitting at a 50% retracement right now, so that's a little bit small. Sitting at a 50% retracement right now, right? Do we get another push to the upside that pushes into that 618,786 range? And then are we able to turn back over and continue down, right? So that's on the one on the sub fib, right? We zoom out, look at the capital fib, and this is where we are, right? We haven't gotten to that 382 level out of the 118, 127 zone. So this will push us back into that zone, right? To give us another entry opportunity to get short to play this 80-20 to the downside. Okay, so that's on the 1 hour. We come back to the 4, right? And see that gave us a 50% retracement to the downside there on the 4. Okay, so we'll need to understand it from a fundamental perspective to see which direction we move here, right? But we didn't break the cloud on the 4 yet. Came down, tested the cloud, now we're pushing back up, right? There's a little flag pattern happening here. So are we able to stall out in this range? So that's what I'm looking to see. Do we get price to push back here, stall out, and then give us an opportunity to get back short? Okay. That's the New Zealand CAD. Any questions? Nope. All right. Cool, cool. And then what I have on here, New Zealand dollar. Similar story as the rest of the dollar pairs. Looking for a pullback. So here we are on the daily time frame. Make sure that's the larger fib. Take this off for a second. That's the larger fib, right? Price has been moving to the downside, lower highs. Recently, we haven't had any lower lows, but moving down. So we are at a 8.6 retracement level here. We were not able to break that A boundary, right? And we got that sharp move to the downside. So we'll come back down to the 4 now, right? We got that sharp move to the downside. Do we get a pullback and then a continuation? Because this is also fibs running off the low. This is an 80-20, right? So we want to see that play out, but can the market take back some of that before we get that continuation? Okay. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens there, right? And then look for that move down, at least to the 382. But if we really get dollar strength to kick in, um, could be more than that for sure. Okay. So then back down to the 1 hour. And this is what this would look like on the one, right? So deep retracement here, and then looking for a short opportunity. If we get that pullback. Questions on the New Zealand dollar? No?
No, sir.
All right. Benny, you got any other pairs you got your eyes on, bro? That's all I had on my list.
I do not. Well, I guess the one I'm waiting to see what the zero CAD that Euro CAD wants to do. If it wants
Yeah.
to continue to push, knowing that CAD is showing some weakness. So watching that one. But mainly this week, like waiting on the meeting. Waiting on the Bank of Japan. But that Euro CAD was one that I've been paying close attention to.
Yeah. Let's break it down real quick, right? Previous resistance coming future support here. Trying to hold that support again here, right? So we'll see if that holds or if we get a break. We had this inverted crown pattern that also played out, right? Boom. Didn't get to the D extension yet, but it's where we are so far. So then on the 4, right, we pushed up to get to that D extension. This was a fresh AB boundary, sharp move down, right? Um, this one was interesting because I did play this to the downside and it just missed my stop loss. So I was able to close this one out in profit. But come back down, retesting this level now, right? So do we stay inside this AB boundary, right? Are we able to hold here as support, double bottom type action, and get a move back to the upside? Okay. As we come down to the 1, similar look, right? We also had an 80-20 that didn't quite play out there. But here we go, right? 8-6 retracement. Do we stay inside the AB boundary? So this is what Benny's looking at right here. Be it on the 4-hour or the 1 hour. Are we able to hold here? Like that. So let's see. Let's see. Questions on the EuroCAD?
Ryan, did you already cover UJ?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No questions there. All right, cool deal. We can pop back and take a peek at it, Donette.
No, I had just seen like a possible 80-20 kind of like, yeah.
Just shy of that 118 level there on the 1.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
saw.
yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll see if we get price to push that 157,742 and then see if we can get a flip. All right. Anybody else got any other pairs you got your eyes on, got questions about? We got about 10 minutes or so. Now the 100 gold. Let's clean this up a little bit. You guys see, I don't trade this one very much. Let's see. So let's get us some support and resistance levels in. Support, not quite resistance there. All right, so I want to run a fib here to see. So we just missed the 382 on that push down. We're pushing back to the upside there. That look right? Yeah. All right. We got stochastic pushing back into the sell zone, right? So my first thought on the daily time frame is, do we get another push to the upside to push us into that 118, 127 zone? Right. That's my first thought just by looking at this, right? Past resistance becoming future support, price held, we're pushing to the upside, right? Does it push us into an 80-20 scenario here? Okay. We come down to the 4. We'll run this one to the upside. Boom. All right. So that will give us a similar scenario here, right? Do we get another push to the upside and then get an opportunity to get short? You see the stochastic pushing into that sell zone. Okay. Down on the 1. Sheesh. I'm gonna zoom back just to make sure this is accurate. Okay, yeah. Those got taken out. Yep, all right. So that's where we are, right? So ultimately, I'm looking to see if we get another push to the upside, or right, price could make its move back down, previous resistance becoming future support, right, and give us an opportunity in the sweet spot. And then we'll see if that happens. But those are two scenarios in my mind, just by looking here from a technical perspective, right? Do we get a high price on the daily time frame? 80-20 on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, you get short. So sitting tight on this one for me, nothing happening. Waiting and seeing. Waiting and seeing. Questions on the NAS 100. Nope. All right. Gold. Do we see the turnaround? Strong move down. 618 retracement. Boom. Breakdown to the downside. That's on the 1. So let's go back. Here we are on the daily. Right? That push down did give us a trend line break. Right? Did give us a trend line break. Now do we get pull back and retest? And a continuation down. To the 4? Let's see. Let's see. There we go. Boom. So we're just range bound there, right? Overall, that's kind of what it is, right? Bottom of the range. There's our top of the range. So are we able to break out and break below this level here? 2276. This will be interesting to see, right? 50% retracement, but we also got resistance, previous resistance here, which will shift that to there. So watching to see here, right? What happens? We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But with that trend line break, what I would like to see is a pullback and a high price here to then be able to get short, right? We come down to the 1, all right, and back to this look here. We got a 618 retracement there on the 1, pressing down. So just looking to see, do we take back some of this bearish action here, right? If you wanted to run the sub fib off of that C, right, give you a 618 retracement, 786 retracement, and then opportunity to move back down to the downside. Okay. 30-minute, let's see what you got. Oh yeah, 30-minute 80-20, boom. Pushed into the zone, right? Now looking for a high price. Appreciate that, Ann. Right. So we'll see what happens there, but we got data tomorrow. So don't be surprised if it stays range bound. So that's where we are. Questions on gold? Nope. Any other pairs you got your eyes on before we wrap it up? That you want me to take a look at? No, no, no. All right, Benny. Any last words before we wrap things up, bro?
No, no, sir. Not really. Just as always, I'm gonna tell you to continue to be patient and pick your spots, right? Just like how we had that Euro USD, how it bounced around for a long time in the zone and it ranged, and then all of a sudden we got the fundamental data in our favor, and we see that Euro USD is on the decline. So it takes, if you're swing trading, right, it takes a lot of patience. Always want to make sure that you're maintaining proper risk management, and then just walk away and let the market do what it's going to do. So that one, that with that downside pressure, that one may have a long way to go to the downside, especially if we get a hawkish, uh tone out of the Fed,
Yeah,
so which is what I kind of expect. You never know for sure, but that's what I'm leaning towards. So that just goes to show you, but that one setup, if it continues to go, in the direction that I think is going to go, right, that can make your money,
it
so like
could.
we always say, patience pays, and it takes a while, right? Easier said than done, right? But that's what you want to work towards. That's it. Great session, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Good people. You said it. All right. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for this pre-New York session. We'll see what the Fed had to say. We'll see what the markets, how the markets responded, and we'll look for the opportunity to take advantage of said action. Um, but until then, tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, accountability group inside the community, inside the meetup. If you got time, tap in with them. Tons of insight, tons of support, tons of encouragement, tons of tools being developed. So tap in 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're able to. Have a phenomenal day. We'll see you then. Peace.